Welcome to iLead News. One of the first major activities of the newly formed Students' Council was the Freshers' Welcome Ceremony held in the first week of August. Here is a report from Joanna on the event.
iLead welcomes its new batch of 2012 in 7th August at the Dale Carnegie Auditorium with full enthusiasm and zeal. The event had performances by both the seniors and juniors, which included group dance performances. The program was followed by a performance of a song, Wonderwall, by the college band. Lastly, a dazzling fashion show left the audience awestruck. It was one that would not be forgotten for a long time.
iLead organized an international student exchange program where students from USA, China and Germany came to India to gain experience of different educational and social culture. The international students thoroughly enjoyed their experience at iLead and thanked Mr. Chopra for such an opportunity. A dance performance was held to show their gratitude and showing a small glimpse of their culture. Soon after the event settled down, it was time for iLead to celebrate India's 66th Independence Day. Our reporter Pushpal will give you an overview of the event.
The celebration ceremony of 66th Independence Day of India was celebrated at iLead campus on 15th August 2012.
Mr. Pradeep Chopra, chairman of the college, hoisted the flag followed by a small quiz.
Which is very famous on Rajasthan, one of the first of its kind, which excited the whole world about Rajasthan. It's called Annals and Antiquities of Rajasthan. Who wrote this book? Let me give you one more clue. He was an army colonel.
Inspirational quotes by eminent freedom fighters were put forward by the students of iLead, followed by relevant slides.
I am not old. No weapon can cut this spirit. No fire can burn it. No water can wet it.
There was a beautiful patriotic song performed by the students of iLead. The program ended with a beautiful dance performance by the students describing the beauty of India.
In collaboration with the American Center, we hosted a very prestigious event, the Jefferson's Debate, on 12th of October 2012 at the iLead campus.
You can make an argument intellectually for something else. And this is where, when you get into the world of politics, you start getting, ooh, this is...
The Jefferson's Debate, organized by iLead in collaboration with the American Center, was held on the 12th of October 2012 at the iLead Auditorium.
Around that. The United States, which is one of the most powerful economy.
An interesting topic, national elections do not have an international impact. It was headed by Jeffrey Reno, the director of American Center.
On some things. Do you believe that national elections have an international impact? No, now, for real.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have an argument here.
Barack Obama, who is elected as a president in 2008.
Students from Jadavpur University, Xavier Sri Shikshayatan College, Presidency, NSHM Bhawanipur, Gujarati Education Society and iLead actively participated. Finally, JU took away the trophy, followed by iLead as a runners-up. Our Diwali vacation ended on an air of urgency as it was time to gear up for our Indo-French film festival, Our Films, Their Films. iLead hosted this 3-week-long festival in conjunction with Alliance Francaise. Our reporters Shivangi, Nail, Vedika and Sunanda will run you through all the days of the event.
The Indo-French Film Festival, Our Film, Their Film, hosted by iLead in collaboration with Alliance Francaise du Bengal, started on 15th of December 2012 at iLead campus with the screening of The River directed by Jean Reno.
The inauguration ceremony commenced with the entry of the special guest Sabyasachi Chakraborty, who talked about the changing sphere of Bengali films and also interacted with the guests.
Congratulate iLead for such an effort, and I would request that such festivals are held regularly, more interactions are held regularly. I would have loved to be here.
Following that was a powerful speech by Mr. Jimmy Tangri.
Never. I didn't even know how a radio station looks like. from inside, or how a studio in a radio station looks like.
The event continued with some special song sequences by Ensemble Muris, Ms. Gargi Banerjee, Shamal Gayan and group, and also the students of Calcutta Girls School.
The second day started with the screening of Runway, a movie from Bangladesh directed by Tariq Masood, followed by a panel discussion by some renowned people like Mr. Raju Raman and Gaston Roberts. In his speech, Gaston Roberts said,
I know the film is an affirmation of Indian cultural identity.
After the screening of a French movie, La Phrase, there was an interactive session with Munmun Sen.
I love films, and I'll stop the car if I hear any music in the dark from the fields, and I will walk there, just grab hold of the driver and walk there because I know that.
The second weekend of the Indo-French Film Festival started with a screening of French movie Qui m'aime ma soive. There was also an Indian musical performance by Agnishwar Chatterjee and a panel discussion. In the panel discussion, Mr. Raju Raman and Shaumya Shubhrodas shared their experiences.
Manna De reminds us of that. It's only CCD right now.
The day ended with the screening of a popular movie Bhutir Bhavishyat, supported by interactive session with Parambrata Chatterjee.
I personally, if you ask me or if anybody asks me, I like to call myself a worker of the Indian film industry.
The last day of the second weekend turned up with a packed auditorium. The event started with the screening of the French movie Flandre. The panel discussion by Raju Raman and Pratimdeep Gupta was appreciated that led to a music performance. The day winded up with the screening of the Bengali movie Nishi Japon by the interaction of audience with Rituparna Sengupta.
মানে নাচ গান হইচই ধরনের ছবি সেখান থেকে উৎসব একটা কমপ্লিট ডিফারেন্স নিয়ে এলো আমার ক্যারিয়ারে আমার নিজেকেও ভাবতে শেখালো যে আমি অভিনেত্রী হিসেবে কেমন
The fifth day of the film festival started with a French movie, Mon Petit Doigt Mardit, followed by Rabindra Sangeet performance, translated in French by Madhuchanda Datta. Pratimdeep Gupta and Mrs. Sujoy Ghosh joined for the panel discussion.
But when you're bad, you're allowed to deviate, you don't have any restrictions. So when you're creating a character who can be a little devious, can be a little sinister, can be a little... It's much more...
The day ended with a highly acclaimed movie, Kahani, and interaction with the director, Mr. Sujoy Ghosh.
I was expecting a good film. I was expecting that people should see our film.
The last day of the film festival was supported with a packed auditorium. The first start of the day was the screening of a French movie, La Petite Lieutenant, followed with the closing speech by Mr. Pradeep Chopra, the chairman of ILEAD.
Entertainment, but for social change, education, and for also communication. We use a lot of films in our personality development program because we feel that human story is the most powerful way of changing a person or bringing about a change.
The much-awaited Indo-French music performance took away the heart of the audience. The event ended with the screening of a Bengali film, Baishe Shraban, and the interactive session with the director, Mr. Srijit Mukherjee, brought a successful end to the film festival.
Satisfying the creative juices, or probably the lack of it. I don't see a lot of kids reading a lot of books nowadays, but the way Bengal thinks and perceives certain things, that has undergone a sea change.
Finally, it was time to felicitate the passing out batch of 2010. Vikash will give you an update on our first convocation ceremony.
iLead's first convocation ceremony for the management and media students of the 2010 and 12 batch was held on 29 January in the iLead auditorium. The outgoing students received their post-graduation certificates in their respective field of study. After felicitating the guest, Mr. Pradeep Chopra, chairman of iLead, addressed the students with an inspiring speech.
Today, it's actually beginning, because knowledge is power, and more so in this knowledge-driven economy which you are going to face. What you have learned today may not be relevant tomorrow.
The principal of J.D. Birla College, Dr. Dipali Singhi, told,
It will be very, very special to the iLead fraternity, because we want you to go to places and put your college, which has given you so much, on the map of higher education.
Professor Dr. R.P. Banerjee, Director and Dean, EIILM, later told,
The path of academics has been excellent. The kind of ambience iLead and Mr. Chopra especially has created for you, the projections, the connections, and also the continuous touch.
The final speech was by Professor Alok K. Banerjee, Vice Chancellor, University of Kalyani.
The global competition. The existing knowledge should be made more precise, and incessant effort must be kept on to delve into new avenues.
The speeches were followed by dazzling dance and music performances by the juniors, which enchanted the audience. Finally, management graduate Benjamin Kuo, on behalf of the outgoing students, addressed the audience by sharing his experiences of his college days in iLead.
Going abroad, I think it has molded us into global citizens and to be competitive everywhere, wherever we go. And
The ceremony was concluded with a photo shoot being held to remember the passing out students.
It's now time to say goodbye. Do keep an eye out on this space for our next edition of iLead News.